請勿靠近車門. Please stand back from the doors.
So, I didn't exactly mean to vanish from this channel for so long and then just randomly pop back up from a completely different part of the world like nothing happened. I know I probably should be better at keeping a consistent upload schedule, especially given that I started my gap year with this whole idea that I would finally channel more creative energy into sharing my life more regularly. That obviously didn't happen, and maybe that's partially the cause or a consequence of what turned out to be one of the lowest points I've been through in a while. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. I moved to Shanghai around June last year, super excited to start a new chapter, and for a little while it was actually pretty amazing. Chaotic, yes, but also some of the happiest moments I've felt in a long time. I just had more control over my life, and the autumn weather in Shanghai was pretty cozy, and I was just surrounded by genuinely good people. Then, like I mentioned in my previous videos, it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster, but by the time I took that trip to Japan during Christmas, I thought I had made it through the worst of it. Like the turbulence was over and I was just ready for a smoother ride. Turns out, I was wrong. It ended up being a super long and stormy season afterwards. The first big shakeup happened when someone I really cared about fell sick. Well, I mean, nothing life-threatening, but it certainly disrupted a lot of things, physically and emotionally for both of us. And around the same time, my grandma accidentally fell on the bus and fractured a few ribs. So when I went home for Chinese New Year, I still vividly remember seeing my grandpa sleeping on the floor right next to her bed, close enough to help her if she ever needed anything, but also far enough so she could rest more comfortably. And that image just hit me really hard. I wished I could stay home longer because I just wanted to be there for them properly, but I couldn't because truthfully, I wasn't doing so great either. The cities I was in were just covered in heavy smog, and it really made my sensitive nose go nuts. I just had sore throats, stuffy noses all the time, and I just felt tired like 24/7. Plus the cold just made everything even worse. On top of that, I was constantly anxious. I was torn between moving somewhere else to chase better career options versus staying in China to be closer to people I love. Eventually, I kind of found out and I had to admit that it's pretty damn hard to land a new job in a totally new space with no connections. And grad school just felt like a huge financial commitment, which I wasn't ready for. So I decided to stay in Shanghai and started job hunting. Well, yeah, if you haven't heard of it often enough lately, job hunting is pretty exhausting. I spent 2 whole weeks, like no joke, just tweaking my resume. And by the time I got to version 22, I finally started sending out applications. I would scroll through different job sites endlessly for like 6-7 hours a day, only to find out that with all my filters selected, I didn't have that many options to choose from. And then I had this moment of realization that The job I left in Singapore was actually not bad. You know, booming industry, great international exposure, and pretty decent pay. Trying to find something similar to match that in China seems very difficult because salaries here are just generally lower. So I guess aiming for a 20 to 30% increment as usual was a little bit out of reach. But I really didn't want to take a pay cut either because I knew that was not good for my long-term career growth. So the only path left was to fight really hard for the few roles that did meet my standards. And you can probably guess how stressful that got. And while all that was happening, I was also trying to be there for people I love, people who are also going through hard times. Because I just really didn't want to be the person who runs away when things get hard. But if I am being honest, I was just so very tired. I wasn't sleeping well at all, but I still had to show up to interviews the following day and sound somewhat confident. I knew everyone around me was also dealing with their own issues, so I just held it in. And that cycle kept spiraling. At some point, it started feeling like I was sinking again. Now, I know this is sounding like another 20-something regretting their life decisions kind of videos, but the fact that I'm here talking about it now probably means that something worked out, even just for a little bit. Not that everything just magically became better. The people around me didn't suddenly heal, the stress didn't completely vanish, but there was this one moment, which was quiet and kind of random, that shifted something in me. I was walking home from the gym, cutting across a little lawn where some kids were playing, screaming and chasing each other. The sun was setting and the air was warmer than usual, so I took off my jacket. And then I smelled it. Fresh grass and soil. The smell of spring. There's this saying in Chinese, well, I don't know who said it, but it's something like, no matter how long the winter lasts, spring always comes. And in that moment, I really felt it. Like, we made it through. Not just me, the people around me too. All of us, just quietly holding on, weathering our own storms. And somehow, here we are, stepping into a new phase together. It's funny how nature has this cunning way of finding your weakest spots, making you feel the full weight of things. But it also has this quiet way of reminding you nothing stays dark forever. So to mark maybe just a pause in this long, blurry chapter, I came to the Philippines because sunshine and beaches feel like the right energy for easing out of a slump. I know this video is probably heavier than usual. I mean, most of the times I do try to keep things fun and uplifting here, but this space is also personal for me. And speaking to the camera helps me process things sometimes. Even though we've never met in person, I still think of you guys as my virtual friends. And that's what I really want this channel to be. A place where we can just simply be human. So if any part of this ramble resonated anything with you, I am really glad. I mean, that's honestly the best part about sharing all this. And if you're still here, still subscribed after all this radio silence, thank you, truly. And I will see you again.
She goes her own way, like I don't give a damn, girl. And my God, she owns it. So many heartbreaks, goes back to 2014, and I think that she knows it. taking their shot, but missing out on the cut. I think she knows that she drives them crazy when she's looking like that. The way she's moving makes them want it so bad. It's the attention that we wish that we had. Yeah, it's almost cruel, 'cause I want her to. Oh,